You've done your audio recording already? Perfect. Now it's time to put it all together and do some sound editing. We'll take a look at how to use Beautiful Audio Editor online to do that. Before you actually do your sound editing, what I suggest you do is compile all the different sound effects and background music you'll be using and put it all into one folder on your computer. It's going to make it a lot easier. So do that now. There's different ways of getting some sound effects and some background music, but the web is full of it. Just Google it. There's also some YouTube copyright free ones that you can use. So I'll show you how to take a video and actually be able to extrapolate the sound from it. On Google Classroom, you'll notice that under podcast, the fourth one is recording and editing your podcast. I've added 3 different resources you can use, tools that you can use to record and edit yourself. So the one I'll use right now is the Beautiful Editor because everyone has access to it. It's online. You don't have to download anything. Let's take a look at that. Once you figure out the basic through this, it's going to make using these two a lot easier. There's tons of different tutorials and videos that also exist for both GarageBand and Audacity. So I will let you use those. They have a lot more details on that. But I'll take a look at Beautiful Audio Editor with you right now. So once you click on it, it's going to bring you to this page right here. And what you need to do is drive app for desktop or mobile. And it's going to take you to the actual right here. So Audacity web. You'll notice it's going to go right here. So what it's going to do is ask you your permission to actually use Google. You just need to select your own username because I've used this in the past. It already allowed me. But this creates a file directly on your Google Drive and allows you to access it whenever. So the reason why I chose this one is that it allows you to have multiple tracks. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is importing something. So you can either choose file, it's going to do a pop-up and get you to wherever you need to go. Or you can just select the folder where you have everything you need. So if you remember correctly at the beginning, I told you to put everything you needed into one folder. Make sure you have it right here. So the Google Meet, so the first podcast, if you remember, I did that last time. So if I click and just drop it right here, it notices it right here, and I can do import audio, and you notice it just popped up right here. Right now it's a bit short. So if we zoom in, we're going to allow it to see a bit more of it right here. So let's hear it out. Well, hello everyone. Let's take a look at our very first podcast. So right now I noticed that already there's a few things I want to tweak. So there's different ways of doing this. Right here you see that little dot. That's the clicking of my mouse that I want to remove. Here you've got different tools. You have this, which is the normal arrow that allows you to click and drag your sound to go and click on different things. You have this to duplicate different things. So if I want to have this multiple times, this is to crop, so to split your clip into 2. So this is what I want to do. And the last one here right now is to remove a selection. So for example, I just want to remove this one. I click on this tool and then boom, I've clicked on the thing I don't want. What I want to do though is split exactly where that click is and where the rest of my sound is. So if I click and drag wherever I let go, it's going to split. So if I want to split, I'm just going to let go right here and see how it has split them into 2. So now I can go back on this and I want to remove the clicking sound. Boom. Now if I click back on this just to make sure I don't delete things by accident, if I go here and play, the clicking sound is no longer there. I have removed it. Next step, I want to add some background music. So in order to do this, I need to add a second track. See how there's empty and import? Now I can add a new track. If I want to do an empty track, I can do empty, but I want to import my music. So I'm going to go import. I'm going to pop up again the folder that I had already. And I'm going to go take the Do You Remember file, which is the actual background noise that I used for my own intro videos. You're going to see it pops up right here. I want to see it all, so I'll zoom back out. See, it's right here. And I know for a fact that this is about where I want it, so let's listen to it.
perfect. So that's where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut right here because I know that that's where, so click and drag and stop. Click, drag, and stop. Oh, why is it not doing it? There you go. And then I'm going to go delete the before and the after. Sounds good. Next, select. I'm going to put this closer over here so that they overlap. If I zoom in, I think we're going to be able to see this more clearly. Boom. So let's put it right here so that by the time that I reach about there, it's going to start the music. So let's see what this does.
Hello everyone, let's take a look at our very first podcast.
So I noticed that the yeah is right here. So I'm going to go and trim, remove this right here, boom, and then delete again. Up. Then I'm also noticing that the sound is very harsh. It's very loud compared to this one. So the gain right here is the actual volume. So if I take this down, it's going to make it a lot nicer. I think it won't clash with the other one. Let's take a look. I think that's better. So there you have it. That's how you do multiple tracks. The last thing I want to show you is essentially you can also import your Google Meet. Now, this is the Google Meet recorded video from my previous video, but it's the audio that we want. I put it right here. It's going to take just the audio from that video. So if I import it, there it is. So you can import the whole conversation that you had with your friends, and then you'll have it right here. You have to listen to it, obviously. If I zoom back out, you might have to zoom a lot because it's going to be a lot longer. But here I can select exactly where I want. Don't forget that you have to be over that ruler in order to select where you want to be. If you've messed up at one point, so you can listen to it.
Once you finish, it's very
you can cut and paste whatever you want. Don't forget you got your trimming, and then you can delete whatever you want and you can move them back together. So for example, if I don't want this part right here and this part right here, I can isolate it, remove it, and then I can click and drag it back together, and voila, it's as if it never happened. When I listen to it, it should flow from one to the other.
This will stop it.
There you go, as smooth as that. So that's how you use this. Yeah, once you're done, so when you're finished, it's very important that you don't send me this whole file right here, but that you send me an MP3 or a WAV file. So in order to do this, all I have to do is, boom, exporting. And then I'll have a pop-up window that will be popping up in about a second. Let's take a look. You can see the progress itself. Very important once you have the pop-up window itself to click on the actual file, and that's where you save it on your computer. Sounds good? This all saves under your Google Drive. So if I want to click Save to Google Drive, it's going to save it, have it right here at the bottom. So make sure you give it a proper title. I kept it the way it is, so it's kind of confusing, especially the fact that I have two exact ones. Make sure you give it a title. To change it, you just click on here and you change it to the new title for your podcast.
So there you have it. That's how you do it with Beautiful Sound Editor. If you're using Audacity or GarageBand, you have tons of different tutorials that exist on YouTube. I invite you to go look into it. Top Audacity, and then whatever you want to find out. If you want to do a beginner's guide, I'll have that also on Google Classroom just to go through the different motions around it. But both Audacity and GarageBand are very powerful. They have tons of other features that is not in Beautiful Editor, Audio Editor. For example, if you want to do some fade ins, some fade outs, you want to add some effects directly on your vocals, you can. You have some on Beautiful Audio Editor, but Audacity and GarageBand are much more powerful. So I would recommend using those. Use your tutorials to make sure you know what you're doing. Have fun with it. And don't forget to save. Always save, because it crashes sometimes, both GarageBand and Audacity. And if you lose everything, it's very frustrating. So make sure you save often. I would recommend every 5 to 10 minutes saving. File, save. File, save. Make sure you do that. I'll see you next time.